Okay, so on the internet, girls do a lot of crazy things. Don't get me wrong, guys do as well. But when it comes to e-girls, well, I guess sometimes for the money, anything could happen. Jeez, people are really desperate for money now these days. But anyways, before the story starts, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, not to mention that I am currently live on Kick streaming and telling crazy stories just like this one. So if you want to see me live, go to kick.com/Bubba. Other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another, well, really crazy story. Back when I was in high school, I remember one thing that was really cool was that we had a really big streamer in our high school. I'm not going to say the name because, well, for privacy reasons, but this streamer was actually generally a really big streamer. She averaged over thousands of viewers and a lot of people knew about her. And knowing that she went to our school was actually really cool. I remember one thing about her though is that she had a really big ego. And honestly, since she had a lot of simps to boost her ego, it kind of made sense. So I'm not going to blame her. But when it came to the simps, honestly, they were very questionable people. And you guys are going to hear how. I remember one time in our school, I ended up walking up to this streamer girl. And honestly, I ended up telling her how I knew about some things about the content world and basically content creation. Even though I wasn't considered Bubba yet at that time, you know, I was still kind of into the YouTube space. And I remember I walked up to her and said, hey, you're that streamer, right? She looks at me and says, oh yeah, I'm just another streamer. Okay, is what I said. And then she ended up saying, oh, why, are you a fan? Do you want me to sign something? Oh, no, I just wanted to say, I'm also into the content kind of thing. She looked at me and said, oh, really? What kind of videos do you make? I play video games, is what I said. And then she ended up telling me, oh, how many followers do you have? I don't know, 300? Because at that time, this channel was a totally different channel. It was called Persian Guy Gamer. And also on top of that, I only had 300 subs because I streamed Call of Duty Black Ops 2 once in a while. Funny enough, one of the VODs are actually still up to this day. Going on though, I remember she ended up basically kind of chuckling at me and laughing and walking away. And that's when I prayed some sort of karma would get to this girl. I know, kind of bad to wish on people's downfalls, but at the same time, if they really deserve it, then it is what it is. Going on though, I remember weeks went by and I remember one time I went on my computer and I saw her streaming. I thought it was cool that she was streaming, so I remember I hopped into her chat and I just decided to watch her for a bit. Honestly, a lot of the time she would always kind of show cleavage and, well, be like any basic e-girl streamer, I think. I don't know, one thing's for sure, I wasn't really focusing on the game that she was playing other than her webcam, even though her webcam was almost bigger than her screen itself. But going on, I remember I kept watching until something insane happened, where I remember when I looked at her chat to see all the simps typing, talking about, her cherries and everything, one person in that chat I actually recognized. The username was the same username that my friend on Xbox used, and also, it's kind of weird because the stuff he was saying, he sounded like a really big simp. And I remember he was always in there saying the most out-of-pocket stuff. And not only that, but he was sometimes in there just lurking, and out of nowhere, someone typed something, he would just be there to make fun of them. It was actually really weird to think about how I knew this guy, but at the same time, it is what it is, I guess. Going on though, I remember basically, I ended up hitting up my friend that was the username, and I ended up saying, oh, I didn't know you watched her too. He ended up messaging me saying, oh yeah, actually I work with her. What is what I said? And then that's when he explained to me, oh yeah, I help her with a lot of different things, and I help her with her overlays and all her work stuff, and I'm kind of her manager. Oh, is what I said. And then afterwards, I remember I was kind of weirded out, but I didn't think anything of it. Because when you think about it, e-girl streamers, they don't really date because, well, if their chat finds out that she's taken and there's already a guy with her, she's kind of running out of business. Let's be realistic here. Going on though, I remember I ended up telling him how it was actually pretty cool that you worked with her and that it would be cool if I even, maybe got to speak to her once in a while and kind of become friends with her. He ended up saying how she doesn't like talking to other people and stuff outside of streaming and that she had a really personal life, which is very interesting. But going on, anyways, I remember the next day at school, I ended up walking up to the streamer girl and I told her, hey, I saw your stream last night. It's pretty cool how you stream like that. And she looked at me and said, oh, thanks. I just work really hard and, it's just my work ethic is really good. Okay, is what I said. But then she ended up telling me, oh, also, Bubba, did you finish the science homework? Because I never got to finish it. Can you help me out with that? I ended up telling her sure, because I did want to become her friend as well, because, she's cool. So I ended up trying to help her with her homework. And then that's when it happened. The guy that was in her chat that, said that he worked with her ended up walking up to me saying, Bubba, what are you doing with her? Nothing, is what I said. And that's when the girl said, oh, he's not doing anything. He's just helping me with homework. You can didn't ask me, is what he said. And for some reason, it became really awkward to the point where I ended up just leaving. There was definitely something going on between both of them. There was definitely some sort of relationship that I did not know about, but I guess it wasn't public. Maybe a secret boyfriend? I have no idea. But at that point, I made it clear that maybe it's not the best idea to talk to her. I remember later on that day though, I ended up getting an ad on Snapchat, and it was from the streamer girl. Now this is when things kind of blew my mind because, well, why would she add me if she had a boyfriend? And that's when I decided to hit her up, and me and her started talking. We started talking, getting flirtatious, and that's when I realized that she was single. And this guy that, you know, works with her, or technically the guy that I knew, wasn't anything to her. At least that's what she told me, because I ended up asking her the question, oh, like, just a question, are you and like this guy like dating or something? She ended up saying, oh no, he's just like, you know, he's just like another simp. He helps me out with like a bunch of stuff. He's nothing like that, but he's like a good friend though. Oh, okay, that's interesting, is what I said. But then right afterwards, I remember I decided to actually hit up the girl, and me and her started talking more and more, to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, it sounded like a really flirtatious relationship. But then this is where things get insane, because I remember the next day, I ended up watching her stream live, and she was doing this like, you know, gifting subs. You get to have like something out of the stream. I don't know, just like kind of like a subathon in a way, but it wasn't. And I remember when I was in that chat, I ended up typing in chat this time and actually saying hi to her, and she was happy that I was in chat. But then that ended up being my biggest mistake, because I remember the guy that was, you know, working with her ended up seeing that I was in chat, and for some reason, I guess in a form of jealousy, he ended up basically saying, oh, Bubba, what are you doing here? I'm just watching her stream, is what I said. And then that's when it happened. He ended up basically messaging me privately saying, Bubba, you do realize that's my girl, right? Wait, you're dating her, is what I said. And then he ended up saying, yeah, and it became really awkward. And I said, bro, there's no way you guys are actually dating. I remember I ended up texting the girl, the streamer, while she was literally streaming saying, yo, he just told me you guys are dating. And then she ended up basically saying, oh, like, no, it's nothing like that. He's just a simp. And then one thing led to another. The craziest thing ended up happening. The guy that supposedly worked with her ended up doing something really simpy. And by simp, I mean maximum capital all letters SIMP. He ended up gifting her over 200 subscribers on, you know, her streaming website. And let me say this much, 200 subs is like almost the equivalent of giving $400 to someone. Obviously on stream, she acted happy because obviously that's a lot of money to get. And then afterwards, I remember she said, okay, so like, what do you want? Like, I'll literally do anything for you. And what he said was he wanted a tattoo on her. And what this girl did was just giggle, laugh, and literally book the appointment to get a tattoo of this guy's name on her. At that point, I blocked the girl instantly. I knew that she was definitely in some form of relationship, because what kind of e-girl gets a tattoo of a simp's name on her body? Like, are you crazy? I don't think any streamer has ever done that. And let's just say the next day when I saw her at school, she ended up having the tattoo. I remember I ended up asking her saying, yo, so like, did you really get a simp tattooed like on you? And she ended up telling me, okay, Bubba, I'm not gonna lie. Like, me and him were like in a secret relationship. If you can like keep it low key. And then that's when I just walked away and I never spoke to her again. What does this story tell? Well, don't trust e-girls on the internet. Honestly, every streamer is really just there to make money and get simps. That's all the business is. But I mean, at the same time though, I mean, if you know, if you want a girl tattoo your name on them, just maybe give them like, you know, $400 to $500 and you're good. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.